the last of our 4 spring talks. We usually do a series every spring, and this year we all felt really strongly that mind over matter, understanding body, mind, and spirit is what we wanted to do. And so, you know, if you haven't seen the videos, if you weren't able to get them, are they up online yet?
Not yet.
Okay, they will be.
Being edited.
All of these talks will be online. And so the first one was Dr. Kirsten and Dr. Stacy, really talking about what happens in the mind with chronic disease. You know, you can go down the path of, oh, this is never going to get better, it's all hopeless. Or you can really stay with what the truth is, which is that we are always malleable. The body always wants to heal. And so that is a great talk to kind of look at some of the research and then also some of the just salient points that they've learned in their practice. Our second talk was great. It was Julia and Andrea talking about food and our relationship to food, and from a Chinese perspective, Chinese medicine perspective, flavors versus tastes. Why do we crave certain tastes? And what is the difference between flavors and tastes? And then also, how do we consciously eat? What is that really about? And then the last talk was Rodney Russell doing a talk on toxic thoughts. Really fantastic. I mean, he has a lot of research and he had a lot of slides on how thoughts affect us as humans. And not just us, but water, frozen water, from Dr. Amaro's frozen ice studies. Lots of different things that, again, just really show we have a lot of tools. So why do I think this is so important? It's because we have so much in our bank as human beings that are a lot of tools. Our physical body always wants to heal. You know, we can do a lot of damage and it still keeps going until it doesn't, right? We've all had that experience. We pushed until it was like, okay, I gotta do something about this. And then also, there's so much that when we're empowered, we can make such a big difference in our own lives, and then therefore the lives of other people around us. It's not just, it's not a selfish thing. It's actually very important that we all support each other in our endeavors right now. You know, there's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of toxins. There's a lot of issues with food. You know, how our agriculture is raised, how our animals are raised. You know, and that Western approach is still kind of patriarchal. You know, I know because I have the MD, you need to do what I say. And if you don't, or if you're asking a lot of questions, there's something wrong with you and not me. And that's really a shame. You know, and it's changing from kind of the ground or inside up, but it's still very pervasive. And it's easy to actually fall into that also, because sometimes when you feel so bad, you just want somebody to tell you what to do. And so we all have a role in keeping us empowered and really choosing, okay, how do I want to live my life? You know, what can I do to help myself and other people? And certainly, you know, with agriculture and toxins, everything we do, everything we buy, we're supporting one thing or the other. And it's very important to remember that. We do purchase things with our pocketbook. And in the end, that does get noticed. Maybe it's, you know, took a long time really for the organic scene to really take place, but it's enmeshed now. You know, there are farmers markets in almost every location. You know, City Market has organic foods. It's out there now. So eventually things change. And so we always have to remember that kind of positivity when we're dealing with things that are slow to change. So I'm going to speak about it from the osteopathic kind of principles, just because that's my lineage. But really, it's not special to osteopathy, or some people know it as cranial sacral. It's really, these are the principles of how we heal as human beings. The naturopaths, they know this. The Chinese medicine know it. A lot of the chiropractors know it. And so I'm just doing it according to kind of the language that I was taught. But really, we're talking about very strong principles that are just true. They're not, yours or mine. They are just literally the ancients, what they've understood about the body. So the first one is that anatomy and physiology are one. So what does that mean? That means that how our cells function and how they're made up are together. So let's take an example. If you sprain your ankle, gets swollen, red, black and blue, and so all those cells in there are releasing a lot of cytokines and different chemicals to help it heal. And so those cells are really doing one thing. They're not doing regular healing work. They're just doing one thing to kind of help the body, that ankle, heal. Likewise, the other way, if we have a high blood sugar, then all the physiology is going to be very difficult to heal. We've also had crystallized ginger. So it's hard, right? It's got those little crystals on top. High blood sugar does that in our bodies. And we use that as a test when we look at hemoglobin A1C or the long-term sugar. So you can see that if you've got a lot of crystalline, the cells are crystallizing, they're not going to work very well, or as well as they could. So that kind of helps us see anatomy and physiology. We can't break them apart. The second principle is that mind, body, and spirit are one. So, as doctors, we peel apart things on purpose. You like to know, is that your arm hurting or your leg? Is your belly hurting on the left side or the right side? Are you having allergy symptoms, or do you think it's a cold? And we do that because it is necessary just to communicate, to really try to be as specific as possible on how things, what's going on in the body. But at the same time, is this arm really separate from the leg? Not really. Maybe there's a little distance there, but it's not really that far. And likewise, if you've been in a room where someone's died recently, you can tell that they aren't there anymore. And it's not that you could tell when they were there exactly what it was or where it was located, but when they're gone, when they've passed, it's like clear. So again, it's like very interesting that we can take things apart, but really we're talking about the whole. And it's very important to remember that. Anyone who's had chronic problems, as Kirsten and Stacy were saying, your mind can go to a very negative place. And so we all have to work hard to go somewhere else, to transition and to look for what is really true, which is that the body can and will heal. And then the third principle is that the body wants to heal. There's a healing force in all of us that is way stronger, knows way more what you particularly need than I or any of these other practitioners will ever know. It's innate. It's strong. We went and saw the permaculture movie that was here a couple of weeks ago, and they really emphasized how you put something in the ground and it wants to grow. There's a lot, there are things that can inhibit it, but really, if you have sunlight, some decent soil, that thing is going to grow. That's the healing force that's in all of us. And so what I feel, all of us in our practice are trying to do is to remove anything that is inhibiting that force, that strength, innateness. And then the fourth principle is really my favorite, because this is where the rubber hits the road. Is that if you want to help someone heal, you need to apply all of those principles. So, you can look at this like sometimes we need surgery. Sometimes we need medication. There's things happening that we can't quite control, can't get a handle on. We need those things. But what we all try to do, and that goes with supplements also, is how are you using them? Are you using them because you think the body is deficient and has to have it? Or do you think, wow, the body right now needs this. I don't think it's going to need it forever, but let's try it and see what happens. And this is really where, you know, the traditional Western approach really, they will agree with all three of those principles. The anatomy and physiology, body, mind, spirit are one, and the body has a healing force. But they don't approach their practice from that perspective. They look at it like, oh, body can't do it, we have to do it. You know, I'm going to take over as a doctor, as a surgeon. And sometimes that's even as chiropractors or naturopaths. It's not necessarily just the Western approach. It really depends on how someone is looking at the whole system and saying, well, what can I do to help this? Instead of, I have to intervene because there's something wrong. And it may seem like a subtle approach, but really when you're doing it day to day, it can really make a big difference on whether, you know, somebody is really out to help support your own health so that you can become independent and empowered yourself, or whether you are kind of kept in the mire of more and more medication or more and more being told what to do. So this is really where I am very excited by what we do at Namaste. Everyone there really understands these principles and uses them all the time. And sometimes we all get into situations where it's like, wow, this is serious. We have to use some of these other tools than what we would normally like to do. But, you know, sometimes, you know, we get down a path and it's far down and we've got to do things to really help support coming back into one's own health. So that's kind of my talk for the moment. And then Donna Murray's going to come and talk to us about particular tools that we have. And then I'm going to come back at the end and do kind of a guided visualization, yoga nidra on health.
Hello everyone. Hi. I'm Donna Murray, and I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about myself and how I learned so much about the mind-body connection. Over 30 years ago, I got really physically sick. I felt exhausted and I was really upset. I was in a lot of pain, but I didn't really know exactly what was happening or why it was happening. The spiritual idea at that time was that you create your own reality, and I began to really explore for myself what that really meant. If I created my own reality, and my reality was that I was sick, then I must be able to create reality where I am well and I am healthy. This idea became a life-saving and life-changing way of life for me. At the time, there wasn't much available about how to heal yourself, so I developed a lot of my own methods, focused almost entirely on the mind and emotions, and my health began to get better step by step. I discovered that my health issues were actually caused as a result of some unhealed childhood traumas, and I'd had so much emotional pain in my body that it actually made me physically sick. It was really hard work, but as I practiced these principles, I was able to heal my body, my heart, and my life. I personally learned so much about what makes people sick and what it actually takes to heal yourself and get well, that it naturally led into my work helping other people. So as an intuitive healer now for over 26 years, I've helped thousands of people all around the world achieve their goals for a healthy, happy, rich, and fulfilling life. So today we're talking about the mind-body connection and how to use mind over matter for healing, recovery, and health. I will share a few ideas and a lot of different tools that I hope will help you positively change your mind, your health, and your life. So first of all, the words healing, health, and holiness are all rooted in the word whole. So wholeness, your essential wholeness, expresses through your mind, your emotions, your physical body, and your spiritual nature. Each aspect of who you are is important, and it has its own specific needs and purposes, and each offers a doorway into and access to the healing potential in all the others. In the work of physical healing, it always calls for emotional healing, always relates to your mental beliefs and your thinking patterns, and it always offers an opportunity for your spiritual growth. In the same way, difficulties, imbalances, and daily stressors related to mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects will always have impacts on your health, your relationships, and your life. In order to be physically healthy, we need to make good choices in diet, nutrition, and exercise. Everything you put into your body, such as food, supplements, therapies, even medicines, are being digested and broken down into an energy form that your body will use to carry out all of the necessary functions of health. If you don't take care of your body over a long period of time, you will probably compromise your health. But you may not know that the choices you make about what you think about, what you believe, how you feel, what you do, and what you allow in your life are also being digested into an energy form that your body also uses as well. So this is what the mind-body connection is all about. It's important to be just as selective about what you feed your mind, your emotions, and your spirit as you are about the things that you feed your body each day. So your body is an energetic machine of sorts, and in order for it to carry out all the daily functions of healing, recovery, and health, it needs to be in a state of balance and calm within. So I'd like to start with a short mind over matter exercise to relax you and bring you into a calm and happy place. So I want you to do this with your eyes open, and I'd like you to take 3 breaths in a row, and we will breathe in our noses on the in-breath, and then we're going to blow it out on the out-breath. So let's all do it together. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, blow it out through your mouth. This will help you too. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then again in through your nose and out through your mouth. This sends messages to your body and brings it into a calmer state. Now we're going to go ahead and have our breathing go back to normal and breathe in and out through your nose. But for the next part, I'd like you to put your hands on your chest to help open your heart and bring your awareness into your body. And so I want you, with your eyes open, to begin to imagine, sense, and feel something that makes you feel really good and makes you feel really happy. So I want you just to try to do that for a couple of minutes, and I want you to feel the feelings that those images bring to your mind. And allow it to fill your heart. Hopefully you have some images in your mind and some feel-good feelings in your heart. And now we're going to add the affirmation, I am happy and healthy. And I'd like you to say it silently to yourself, holding your awareness in your chest 3 times. I'll say it out loud. I am happy and healthy. And say it like you mean it. I am happy and healthy. I am happy and healthy. And I'd like you to take all those good feelings and smile about it. And I'd like you to laugh. I'd like you to look at your neighbors and laugh. And I'd like you to just fill your whole body up with feel-good feelings. Smiling and laughter are contagious. You can put your hands down if you like. Listen like this. Smiling and laughter are contagious, and it triggers a lot of feel-good, healthy chemicals in your body. And you just gave yourself a healing, and it took less than 5 minutes. And you did it with your eyes open for a reason, because I want to show you that you can do this throughout your day. You can do it when you get up in the morning, while you're taking a shower, while you're driving, making dinner. So it doesn't take a lot of time or extended amounts of meditation to bring your body into a balanced state. You can just sort of add it any time of day, and I recommend that you do it a few times to get the best results. When talking about the mind-body connection, it's important to talk about childhood because so many of our mental beliefs, our thinking patterns, and our feelings originated way back then. As children, we're continuously defining ourselves, interpreting our experience, and we're making concrete decisions about who we think we are and how to be seen, heard, understood, and loved. We develop a unique personal viewpoint about what we can and cannot expect from ourselves, from others, and from the world. Your parents and the other important people in your life will consciously and unconsciously pass on their beliefs, their unresolved feelings, and their perceptions with your most primary relationships being the most impactful and significant. If they're healthy and balanced, these will be supportive and positive. But if not, their unresolved emotional traumas will probably get acted out in their relationship with you, and this proves to be one of the hardest and most painful challenges for children because you're developing a sense of who you are based on their ability or lack of ability to love, nurture, support, and guide you. The emotional and psychological impact of challenges is deeply felt, but without the ability to process it, whether you are told you can't or they don't know how, these feelings will become buried and suppressed. When you think about developing a philosophy of life when you're really young, it's not surprising that we can develop painful, faulty, and limited habits of mind and emotions. As adults, we rarely challenge these deeply held beliefs and feelings because we hold them as personal truths, and we honestly don't remember ever thinking or feeling any other way. Our childhood experience will likely become a big part of our lessons in this life, prompting personal healing and spiritual growth. In my experience working with so many clients that are sick, I've found that repressed and misdirected emotional energy is one of the largest causes for physical pain, degenerative diseases, and major illnesses. Emotion stands for energy in motion, which means it's meant to flow and it's meant to move. Emotions are the most powerful creators of energy and experience, and yet they may be the most misunderstood aspect of life. When feelings are felt and released, they don't cause problems, but when they are denied, ignored, or repressed, they generate huge amounts of toxic energy that create burdens in your physical body over time. So repressed emotions and emotional stress creates a sort of dirty energy, a sludge in your physical body's energy. These blockages will tend to spread all over, but generally they'll store in a specific area of your body, which might be your brain or your heart, or it may be in an entire system like your immunity, your elimination, or your digestion. They carry these strong feelings and messages that over time can slowly alter your body's natural, healthy programming and function. So it's important to listen to your body and pay attention to the signals that it gives you all the time. It may start emotionally, and then it may start as a physical sensation or pain. It can take a long time between the original emotional causes of a problem and its manifestation into your health. So you will get many opportunities to resolve it. Once it becomes physical, of course, it naturally becomes more complicated because now you have to work on your physical health as well. When you address a problem physically, it makes sense that you also address the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of the problem. Because if you don't release those blockages that are storing in your body, they will continue to cause issues and can become real obstacles to healing, recovery, and health. You may be surprised to hear that the past can cause health problems now, but it really does. If you have unresolved emotional traumas, or what I call unfinished business from your past, I encourage you to feel those feelings, process and understand them, and then let it go. Because this way the past can be in the past where it really belongs. Another obstacle to health is chronic emotional stress. While occasional short-term stress is okay, long-term stress is very toxic. We live in a world where daily stress is considered somewhat normal, and we're constantly being stimulated and stressed by our own expectations, our environment, by others, by negative news, violence on TV, the internet, and books. It's everywhere. There are generally two types of emotional stress states, and they affect your health in very different ways. The first one shows up as feelings of powerlessness, and the second one shows up as you're in a state of emergency. So long-term feelings like helplessness, despair, and depression produce a sort of defeat or giving up in your physical body. People may say they don't want to be here anymore, or maybe they feel trapped and stuck in their circumstances. They may tolerate bad relationships and bad situations and feel like there's nothing they can do to change it. But your body takes these messages and it internalizes these feelings, and it can affect your body's ability to protect and support you. Long-term aggression, anger, and anxiety types, on the other hand, send signals that you're in a state of emergency, and your body will direct all of its available energy towards what seems like an emergency. When this happens, your body will have to put a lot of very important functions on hold. If you're stressed while you're eating, it will interfere with your digestion. If you are exposed to a virus, it will interfere with your immunity, making you more vulnerable to getting sick. It can interrupt your sleep, stress out your body, deplete your energy resources, and more. It's important to be mindful about the thoughts and the running narrative going on in your head throughout your day. Emotional stress often has more to do with what you're thinking about than it has anything to do with what's actually happening. In fact, most of the time, nothing bad is happening at all. So when you feel stressed, you can ask yourself, what am I thinking about right now that's making me feel so bad? What can I say to myself instead that would help me to feel calm and empowered? Being in a state of emergency always makes people feel like they don't have any control in life, and so these kinds of things can help you feel more balanced and more in charge of your environment and your life. Or you can ask, is there another way that I can look at this situation that is more positive? Because your body is listening to every word you say and everything you feel. If you have stressful self-talk, your body will act in a stressful way. If you have calming and empowering self-talk, your body will respond in a calm and empowered way. So here are some examples of some very simple calming statements. I'm okay. Everything's all right. Everything's going to be fine. And you talk to yourself and you sort of self-soothe and bring yourself down off the cliff. You can say things like, I'll get this done. I'll figure it out. It'll work out somehow. It always does. When I say that to people, they get kind of mad. Like, how? How is it going to work out? Well, I don't know, but you're going to be more prepared to work out your problems if you're in a calm and balanced state. It's really about bringing your inner world into balance so you're prepared to handle whatever happens in your life. The next step is to stop feeding your mind anything that produces negativity, fear, or emotional stress. When you watch, read, or talk about negative news, violence, or scary things, your body reacts as though it's actually happening to you right now. It's like taking big drinks of negativity and fear. It adds to your stress level, and it burdens your health. So the solution is to focus on the good in yourself, in others, and in the world. There's so many good people doing really good things in the world, and at first you may have to look for them, but they are there powerfully creating good energy in the world. Feed your mind daily doses of inspirational, empowering, and positive good messages. Read, listen, or watch something every day, and you'll add your good energy and voice to the good in the world. This is what Gandhi was talking about when he said, be the change you wish to be in the world. It will make you feel better and more optimistic about yourself and your life. Make sure people you surround yourself with, too, are positive and optimistic. The only thing that you have control over in life is what you choose today. Nothing that you think, believe, feel, do, or allow is neutral. It's always in a state of creating something better or creating something worse. In every moment, we all have an important choice to make. So thoughts, words, and self-talk are really powerful and are one of the best places to start when you want to create new positive energy. It's estimated that every single day we have between 20 and 60,000 thoughts, and most of these are repetitious. And the thoughts you have today are the ones you had yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and a year ago, and 10 years ago, and so on. And these carry a lot of power. Thoughts that are tied to strong, intense, or passionate emotional energy carry a huge amount of creative power. So it's really important to replace negative thinking because it can sabotage your goals for a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. So here's an exercise that I used when I was sick that really works for canceling and replacing negative thoughts. Identify one thought that you have on a regular basis that makes you feel bad or stressed out. And then think of another statement that you want to replace it with. Make the new one short and easy for you to remember. When you hear the old thought, stop and say, silently or out loud, cancel, 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 and then the new statement 3 times. It is said that one positive thought cancels out the energy of at least 3 negative thoughts from the past. That's how powerful positive thoughts and energy are. If you say it out loud, it's even more powerful. So be careful what you say because words have power. This process really worked for me, And after a couple of weeks, I actually heard cancel, cancel, cancel in my head, and I realized that my brain was canceling out the negative thoughts for me. This is a really powerful practice, and I hope that you try it. The next area of mind that is maybe the most important is self-talk, which is the manner, the tone, and the words you use when you're talking to yourself. It's very common for people to be hard on themselves and to beat themselves up, but this creates an enormous amount of emotional stress. A great way to transform self-talk is to learn to be your own best friend. Building your relationship with yourself is one of the most healing practices that you can do. So what are the qualities of a really good friend? They're supportive, kind, and compassionate. You can tell them anything without judgment or criticism. They accept you for who you are, and they know your faults, your weaknesses, and your strengths. They celebrate with you, they cry with you, and they genuinely care about what's going on in your life. Good friends value and respect each other, and this is how we should treat ourselves as well. So here are some guidelines. The first rule, which is very important, is you should never, ever say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say out loud to somebody that you value, love, and respect. That alone will eliminate 90% of what people say to themselves. This means no being hard on yourself, no more beating yourself up, no name-calling, put-downs, self-criticism, blame, or judgments. No more anger itself. Do not yell at yourself or put yourself down in any way. No more guilt. These make you feel bad and they flood your body with negative energy. So learn how to talk to yourself with kindness, compassion, and empathy for what you're going through. Treat yourself with love, self-value, and respect. Here are some suggestions. When you feel like your self-talk is making you feel bad, stop and ask yourself, what can I say right now that would be honest yet supportive and help me feel good about myself and my situation? Or ask yourself, if a good friend of mine was going through what I'm going through and they were describing this to me, what would I say to them and how would I help and support them? If a friend is telling you about a mistake that they made they feel really bad about, would you attack them, put them down, point out their faults, and try to make them feel worse? I hope not, because that's not a good friend. You would likely say something encouraging and supportive, and you might help them see life in a more empowering way. So practice doing this for yourself. If you've made a mistake, learn from it, make it right, if you can, and do better next time. No emotional backlash is necessary. So here's an affirmation to help you with different changes, is that I am healing, learning, and growing every day. Isn't that what we're all doing? Learning, healing, and growing every day? It's kind of hard to get upset with yourself if that's what you know that you're doing. It's these expectations that people have about doing things perfectly that gets in the way of real growth. Make time for yourself every day too. This can be through meditation, prayer, or just quiet reflection. Go within to find the goodness and open your heart. Your heart holds the keys to your spiritual nature, your intuition, and your inner knowing. Focus on the good in yourself because it's in you right now. Think about the good qualities of who you are and feel really good about yourself. Focus on what is right about you and not what's wrong with you. Strive to be a good human being, someone you're proud of. That's something you feel really good about. And then smile and laugh as much as possible. We need to learn to celebrate when we do good. We can celebrate all of the good efforts and successes that we have in each and every day, even though you may feel like you have a long ways to go. Gratitude journals help you to see the good that happens in your life, but I suggest that you see the good in yourself every day. What did you do today that makes you feel good about yourself? When you feel good, it's easier to be kind to yourself and to others, and this energy feeds your health in powerful ways. Another thing you can do is to ask for what you want. I ask for health. I ask for inner peace, love, guidance. Ask that you and your loved ones are safe, happy, and healthy every day. Ask for what you want rather than worrying about what you don't want. That's how you go about creating good energy and experience. And start from where you are to choose just one area to start with. Don't try to change everything at once. and always set yourself up for success. Each time you do something good, celebrate, and then move on to the next thing. If you do mess up as you're trying to change, and you will, with your thoughts and self-talk, never beat yourself up about it. Just start again and do your best. If you've been stuck in negative thinking and self-talk for a long time, it makes sense that it will take time to develop the new habits. Be patient and kind with yourself at all times. So every day you make the choice to heal, to learn, and to grow. You are the only one who can change your mind, cry your tears, and heal your life. So I want to finish just with a short story about one of my best friends, Gretchen, who's no longer here. She had ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, which if you know about what that is, that's a really tough deal there. Over time, she lost the use of her body and her voice, but she never lost her power. She taught me what mind over matter really is, because that's really all she had was her mind. I watched her create everything she needed, and she maintained a sense of power and purpose all the way to the last day of her life, and she even died on her own terms too. During one of the last healing sessions I did for her, she intuitively said to me, "I want to go home now." And I said to her, "You want to go home?" And I pointed up, and she said yes, and of course that was painful. She was just so tired and homesick. And so just to change the mood, I asked her, "What do you want to do when you get to the other side?" And she said, "I want to wear dresses, I want to dance, and I want to eat salad." So, of all the things she could do, and she knew she could do anything, the things she missed the most were the simple things in life. So enjoy the simple moments and pleasures of life, because life is very brief and very fragile, and you want to do what makes you happy, and that will make you healthy too.
All right, so we're going to do just a short kind of guided visualization, yoga nidra type practice. You can do it seated. There's lots of room if you want to lie down. You can do your eyes open or closed. It's really, what we're going to do is kind of look at our own experience of health. So just take a few breaths and just kind of really feel your whole body. The weight of it in the chair, your sits bones, your feet, maybe the chair against your back. So I love Yoga Nidra. It's a very ancient practice from the yogis in India, and it was kind of brought back into modern times in the mid-1900s. And it's really powerful because you can have experiences of opposites in a way that helps you experience your own self without needing to figure it out or think about it. It's like you just feel it and let it go. So just again, kind of feel the weight of your body on the earth, the breath moving in and out of your nose. Any sounds that are in the room, maybe a taste in your mouth. Bring your whole attention to the whole body. And then see what happens when I say, "My health is strong and alive." My health is strong and alive. Maybe there's a whisper or kind of a slight wind of what that is. Or maybe it's a big shout with lots of color or texture or even sound. And just kind of stay with your experience of what health is in you. This is your experience and available to you no matter what, whether whether it's a stressful day, a lot going on, or whether things are kind of light and easy. You can always ask yourself, health, what is it? Where is it? So we'll spend another breath or two with this experience of health. Maybe it's changing as you put your attention there. Maybe it's staying the same. And then I want you to actually smile, physically smile, and see what happens to this health. Everybody looks very nice smiling. And then you can kind of let the smile go. Just kind of be with this health experience. And then when you're ready, frown. Literally make your face frown. And see what happens to this experience of health. And then let that go. Again, just see what's happening with this experience of health. As I put my attention there, as I do different things. And then now see what happens to this experience of health as you say to yourself, I'm too small to make a difference. I'm too small to make a difference. And then let that go. Again, just sitting with this experience of health. It's yours, your experience. And then when you're ready, say to yourself, I am healthy and vibrant and learning everything I need. I am healthy and vibrant and learning everything I need. See what happens to that health experience. And then let that go. And again, just stay with this experience of health, whatever it is, whether it seems very far away or is in your face. Bless you. Just see what's happening to it. And then now remember a time when you felt so yourself. You were vibrant, you were doing everything you wanted to do. You had endless energy and lots of support. See what happens to this experience of health as you put yourself back in that situation where you really felt completely yourself, strong and vital. And then now see what happens to this experience of health as you remember a time when you felt really downbeaten, just kind of at the end of your rope, not sure what you were going to do. Maybe you were having a health crisis. Maybe it was just a life and purpose crisis. Feel what that health feels like when you put yourself back in that situation. When you could hardly function. And then now go back to that experience of being vibrant and alive. completely yourself, lots of energy and support, doing what you know you needed to do. Feel what that health feels like in that situation. And then just let that go. Let that memory go. We're just going to spend another minute or so just experiencing this health, this vibrancy that's in all of us. And really notice maybe there are different details coming through, a different texture or color, size, shape. Really have access to this when it's not as obvious. Coming back in the room. But as you do, as you kind of start to be aware of other people around you, just notice what happens to this health experience as you bring more information into your awareness. Does it change the health experience? Or does that stay the same and just other things come in? Hope that kind of this experience, as well as all the suggestions that Donna gave, can really help you begin to kind of chart your own path on understanding how you can support your own health, no matter what is going on, no matter what you're dealing with or what issues you might have.